Good morning. Now, I would like to give an example of a reading I did recently so that you could kind of see a spread also. The reading I did is called a guide in action reading. It's designed to help you get over something, to take a next step. This case, the person wanted to know why they couldn't find a job that suits their needs better. This is a 5-card reading, so this is what we call a spread, and in this spread, this would be card number 1, and it's considered the block. Card number 2 is here, and it's considered fears and obstacles. Card number 3 is here, and it's the strengths already in place. And card number 4, is an action or a guide to be taken. And card number 5 is the possible outcome. I'll talk about these 3 cards in a minute. So I shuffled the cards and I got into this person and thought about their question and laid out the cards. Now what I do is I shuffle, if I'm doing a live reading, I have the querent cut the cards, and then once they've cut the cards, I will lay them out in order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do not pull from the deck. They come right off the top. So let's talk about the reading. So I laid first thing I do is lay the cards out. So I laid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I kind of look at it as a whole to see what we have here. So just in case you can't see, what we have here is the 6 of Wands in place 1, 7 of Wands in fears and obstacles. Strengths is the Queen of Wands. 5 of Pentacles is in the actions to be taken. And the Hangman is the final outcome. So I kind of just looked at that all. And the first thing I thought was, boy, the block is that this person needs recognition, because this is a recognition card. And but I also was drawn to the Queen of Wands, saying that the strength that they have is already within them. It's their queen. This happened to be a lady, and I'm like, oh, that's what that strength is. So once I kind of got an impression, I make notes as I do the reading. So I just overall thought, oh, this person is, feeling like their obstacle is they feel like they have to defend themselves all the time. They want recognition. That's what they need. Their strength is the Queen of Wands, who is a very vivacious, outgoing woman who likes to kind of be in the public eye. They have a tendency, Queen of Wands, to be actresses. The actions kind of threw me, though, so I'll talk about that too. 5 of Pentacles is not an easy card. It's a card of feeling destitute, kind of like you feel like you don't have the money. You feel like it's almost like you can't. This card's really hard to see. It's very dark. The cats are down in a ditch, and there's coins up here, but the cats are down here, so they're like struggling to get out. They're not seeing what's just above their heads, so they're kind of wallowing, so to speak. And then the outcome is the Hangman, which says, okay, we need to think about this differently, which prompted me to pull more cards, because the Hangman in a final position is kind of like a, just hanging there, so to speak. So I pulled 3 more cards before I did the reading in detail to give me more information about the Hangman. And I got the King of Wands, the High Priestess, and the Hierophant. And I'm going to talk about how those fit into the final outcome. So basically the reading in detail says that this person definitely wants recognition. They need recognition. They're in a point right now in their life where they feel like they need to be recognized in their job and in their profession. But the recognition comes from people around them, probably. Their fear is that they'll have to defend themselves. And I'm going to get to that a little bit, because why would they need to defend themselves? Well, maybe if they're switching careers, maybe they're afraid to disappoint people, so they feel like they have to defend themselves if they're switching that career. However, it also says, and I did put this in the reading, that when this card comes up, yeah, you're defending yourself and you're defending your honor, but it's also telling us that we can make it through. So as we get to that fear, it's like, okay, so your fear is, and your obstacle really is you feel like you don't want to have to defend yourself. And then the strength is the Queen, and the Queen, again, as I said, her personality that this person I'm doing the reading for needs to take that personality and see that as a strength to get to their next step. So the guide, again, that's kind of hard, because how do you use a Five of Pentacles as a guide? But then I thought about it and I looked at the picture and I said, you need to get up out of the hole and see what's above you. Don't just be sitting where you're at. Don't wallow in, oh, you're not happy. There's more up there. You need to climb out of the hole, and you need to kind of get yourself into the light, which leads to the Hangman in that probable outcome. And so the probable outcome is you need to turn yourself upside down. You need to think about what you're doing differently. And in me, that says you're not in the right profession. Obviously, if you're wallowing and and the action is saying get out of the funk, and the Queen of Wands is this vivacious person, you know what? Take that time and look at maybe doing something completely different. And also, it all read together, because why else would you need to defend yourself unless you were really like looking to completely change your career? So the clarifiers here are the King of Wands, which to me, I pulled that first, and that just says Queen of Wands. It's just a repeat of the Queen, except for we already used the Queen. And then the High Priestess is a intuition card. And that said to me that she already knew what she wants to do. She knows what she wants to do. She knows what she needs to do. It's in her already. And it's pointing then to the Hierophant, which says maybe you need to take a look at mentoring or teaching or doing that kind of work instead of necessarily the work. Maybe it's time for you to take that next step and put into being a mentor. So the final reading, in a summary, said, you know, the block is the recognition you need, because your obstacle is being, feeling like you need to defend yourself. And you don't need to feel like you wouldn't feel the need to defend yourself if you weren't looking for recognition. That's the block. So to overcome that, use the Queen of Wands in you, get out of the hole, and look at things differently. And when it says differently, look at the whole thing. Look at yourself. You know what you want to do. And it looks to me like you want to be a mentor or a teacher of some sort. So take what you're doing now and turn it around and see if she can go in a different direction. So her response was that she totally agreed with it, and she liked the fact that it just brought something to the forefront of her mind that she already knew. She knew she needed more out of her career. She likes what she does, a lot of parts of her job, but she also does like to teach. That's what she told me. She was like, I've always wanted to teach, but it's scary, the politics and the money and teaching. So instead of maybe teaching in a school, there's plenty of jobs where you can be a mentor. So we talked about that a little bit, and so she has some things to think about, and it helped her to get over it. But what I really wanted to show you was how a spread works, how it kind of, when you do a spread and you want it to flow a little bit, and see how that, so that you can follow it when you pull the cards, and how you look at them when you're doing the reading. Well, I hope that helps, and example readings are always fun. I'll try to do a few here and there, and we'll keep going. And thank you for joining.